Hey guys, what's up? My name is Stephanie of Creating Within, for those of you who don't know me. In this video, I want to talk to you about how to embrace your higher self through solitude. I recently wrote a blog post about this and I want to share it in a video format because I haven't really been doing videos for a long time. And that's because my life has changed so much. I really took a break from social media and really from my blog for almost 2 years, I would say. A lot of it had to do with the fact that back in 2014, I took a little over a year to travel solo. For those of you who don't really know my journey, I went backpacking alone, and 6 months after I got back, I met my husband and I moved to a new state. And then shortly after, I disappeared off of social media for 2 years, and a lot of you don't know, who don't follow me on Instagram, that I became a mother 10 months ago. So there's been a lot of changes in my life, and the reason that I recently wrote about solitude is because I went from living my life where I was constantly alone, spending lots of time with me, and I had a very unique practice and deliberate way of living where I focused a lot always on my spiritual growth and my inner world, and really just did whatever I felt in the moment, just kind of following my excitement at every moment. But now my life has taken a different shift because I have now, become a wife and a mother, and I've had all these changes happen to me in less than 2 years. When I got back from traveling, I quickly met my husband, I moved, I started a new business venture, I got married, then I became a mom, and all these other little things that have occurred in between. So in doing all of that, I recognized not long ago, I remembered that one of the things that I had been missing for a while now is the fact that I really haven't had a lot of solitude, a lot of alone time, which I'm so used to, especially because it's such a big practice for me in order to get connected spiritually. You need to spend a lot of time by yourself in order to be able to sense your own energy. And it wasn't until my husband left on a business trip that I recognized, oh my God, this is what I've been missing, because I had been feeling a disconnect spiritually for a while now. And in that moment, I recognized, like, wow, I can feel my own energy again. Because the thing is, we need to recognize that when we are constantly surrounded by other people, or we are always going, and we don't stop, like we're constantly doing things, and that's most of us. We're constantly keeping busy, whether we're watching TV or we're texting or we're on the phone or we're talking to people. We're always just doing stuff. So we don't really get time to just pause and really sense our own energy. And when you can't sense your own energy, then it's going to be very difficult for you to be connected with yourself, to be able to tune into your intuition and overall connect with your higher self. So it was very interesting because being in this state, I got to experience what it really feels like to be, I would say, a little unconscious, and what it feels like to be disconnected spiritually. Because I learned that the quality of your life and the way that you live is completely different from when you're very in tune and aware. When you are very disconnected from yourself, you're so unintentional. You're not intentional about the things that you do. You're very reactive. Your mood is kind of up and down. It's dependent on whatever's going on, and you're really just not very aware because you're just going. You're on automatic. So it's very interesting, and I really honestly don't prefer it, but I'm glad that I went through it because I now have the experience and I understand what it feels like to be disconnected. So which is why I was reminded that for those of you who maybe are going through a period of disconnection, or maybe you have just always felt disconnected and not tuned into yourself, the very first step really comes down to tuning into yourself is solitude, because you need to be able to know how your own energy feels. You need to be able to know how to sense it, so that when you are around other people, because we're constantly picking up energy from other people. So when you know what your energy feels like, then when you are around other people, you're going to be able to differentiate what is yours and what is not, like what you're picking up. Because sometimes, let's just say, you need to notice, and this is why as you spend time by yourself, you can start training yourself to know how you feel, so that when you go around other people, if you're if you leave the house and you know you're in a good mood and you feel good, and all of a sudden you meet you meet up with somebody and then all of a sudden you feel sad, or you're worried, or you're anxious, or you get upset, whereas like maybe 5 minutes before you weren't feeling that way. If you have enough awareness, you can differentiate and say, oh wait, this is not me, I'm not feeling this way, I'm picking this up. Because we are all constantly picking up telepathically and energetically everything around us. It's just that most of us, we don't really live at such a minute way. I don't know how to fucking say it, but most of us are not that aware. We're not living our life to that extent of an awareness. You know, we're just stuck in the everyday, doing the mundane stuff, and we're just kind of more in a reactive state rather than being that aware that we're like, oh shit, you know, this isn't mine. But when you spend time alone, it'll help you really get in tune with your own energy so that you know what's yours and what's not. And it's also going to allow you to start recognizing that inner voice when it speaks to you. So I wanted to share this with you guys because it was such a big reminder to me, because I recognize now not having that, because I took it for granted. It was such a huge part of my life. I spent so much time alone my entire life, even as a child, that now not being alone, which is not a complaint, but it's just I'm in a different stage in my life, and now I need to find the balance within, you know, these new things that I have created for myself, as now becoming a mother and a wife, and then still finding a new version of me in these roles, and still having time to carve out for my own spiritual practice and for spending time alone. I recognize that it's super, super important. So I encourage you to spend some time alone. And when I say time alone, it's really just you, no gadgets, nothing else. Just spend time with yourself, just recognizing how you feel, being in tune with your body, with your breath. And if you want to learn more, you can go on to creatingwithin.com. I wrote an article about it, and you can always hit me up, leave me some comments, and we can have a discussion. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a while since I've done one, but here goes to being impromptu and just going with the flow. Peace.